If you've spent years grinding, building your career, earning great money, doing everything the right way, and you still feel like a prisoner to your own paycheck, this video is going to reframe everything, because here's the thing. Most high-income professionals have been sold a lie. They've been told that financial freedom means retiring early, quitting your job, sitting on a beach somewhere, doing nothing. And because that picture doesn't actually appeal to most of us. We love what we do. We're proud of our work. We want to stay engaged. We quietly assume that financial freedom just isn't for us. So we keep working, we keep earning, and we keep feeling like we're one bad year from starting over. That's the trap. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why financial freedom and early retirement are two completely different things. I'm going to show you that the framework that high-income professionals are actually using to build real, lasting wealth, not to escape their careers, but to make their careers a choice instead of a requirement. We're going to talk real numbers, real strategy, and by the end of this video, you'll have a clear picture of what financial freedom actually looks like for someone like you. Let's get into it. First, let me be clear about who this video is for. This is for the physician, the attorney, the engineer, the executive, the person who has worked incredibly hard to build a high income. You're not broke, you're not struggling, but you also know that if you stopped working tomorrow, the income stops too. That's the problem we're solving. And before we go any further, I want to bust two myths that are quietly holding a lot of smart people back. Myth number one, financial freedom means you stop working. This is the FIRE movement idea, financial independence, retire early. And look, for some people, that's the goal. I respect it. But for most high-income professionals, especially those who spent a decade or more training for their careers, the idea of just stopping at 45 or 50 doesn't resonate. It actually creates resistance. People hear financial freedom and think it means walking away from everything they built. It doesn't. Financial freedom means your income is no longer entirely dependent on your presence. It means you work because you want to, not because you have to. That's a fundamentally different thing. Myth number two, you need to become a real estate expert to invest in real estate. This one keeps more high earners on the sidelines than almost anything else. The image of being a landlord, fielding calls, managing tenants, fixing problems sounds exhausting. And it is, if that's the model you follow. But that's not the model I'm talking about. The white coat investor community, built specifically for high-income professionals, has been saying this for years. The most effective path for busy people is passive real estate investing. You invest alongside experienced operators. You collect distributions. You keep doing what you do best. No toilets, no tenants, no midnight calls. The real problem isn't that you don't have enough money or enough time. The real problem is that nobody has shown you a framework that actually fits your life. That changes today. Let me give you the core concept, the mechanism that makes this whole thing work. Think about your income right now as a single engine on a plane. That engine is your career. It's powerful, it's reliable, but if it ever stops, burnout, illness, a career transition, anything, the plane goes down. Financial freedom is about adding a second engine, not replacing the first one, adding to it. And here's what most people miss. The second engine doesn't need to be as big as the first one to change everything. It just needs to be real. It just needs to be running. Here's the step-by-step framework. Step one is defining your freedom number. This is the monthly passive income amount that would make your career feel optional. Not your full income, not your dream lifestyle number, just a number where if your job disappeared tomorrow, you'd be okay for a while. For most professionals, that number is somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 a month. Write it down. That's your target. Step two is understanding the vehicle. For high-income professionals, the most efficient vehicle for building passive wealth is real estate, specifically passive real estate investing through syndications and private funds. And here's how a syndication works in plain English. A group of investors pools capital together to purchase a large asset. Typically, a multifamily apartment building, you come in as a limited partner. You invest a set amount. The operator, a real professional real estate team, handles everything: acquisitions, management, financing, reporting. You receive quarterly distributions and a share of the profits when the property eventually sells. You are entirely passive, and that's the point. Step 3 is understanding why multifamily specifically is such an attractive asset. And according to CBRE's 2025 US real estate market outlook, multifamily remains the most preferred asset class for commercial real estate investors. Why? Because the fundamentals are built on something that doesn't go away. People need a place to live. And average newly originated mortgage payments are 35% higher than average apartment rents right now. That means millions of would-be home buyers are staying renters longer. Demand is structural, and with multifamily construction starts, that's expected to be significantly below pre-pandemic averages through mid-2025 and beyond. The supply-demand equation continues to favor apartment owners. PwC's emerging trends in real estate, their latest report, echoes this. Multifamily has strong long-term conviction from institutional investors precisely because of its stability through economic cycles. And step 4, and this is where it gets really powerful for high earners, is the tax advantage. This is the part where most people never learn about. Real estate investing comes with something called depreciation. The IRS actually allows you to deduct the cost of a property over time. 27.5 years for residential real estate. And what that means in practice is that even when a property is generating cash flow, money coming into your pocket, the paper depreciation can create a tax loss on that same property. That loss can be used to offset your passive income, and with a strategy called cost segregation, which firms like KBKG specialize in and as such, you can front load those depreciation deductions into the early years of ownership. And here's what that looks like in practice. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act, signed into law in July 2025, permanently restored 100% bonus depreciation for property that was placed in service on or after January 20th of 2025. That means eligible assets identified through a cost segregation study can be fully expensed in year 1. And for a high-income professional in a top tax bracket, that can translate into hundreds of thousands of dollars in deductions that could directly reduce your taxable income. This is not a loophole. This is the tax code working exactly as intended, rewarding investors who provide housing. And step 5 is reinvestment and compounding. The distributions you receive from your passive investments don't get spent, well, at least not yet. They get recycled into the next investment. Each new investment generates more distributions, and the cycle repeats. And slowly, methodically, that second engine gets bigger and stronger. And step 5 is critical because without the discipline to reinvest early on, the compounding never gets a chance. And the compounding is everything. Let me ground this in real numbers. Say you invest $75,000 into a multifamily syndication. A typical deal today targets a preferred return. That's the baseline distribution you receive before the operator earns any profit share of around 7 to 8% per year. On 75,000, that's roughly 5,200 to 6,000 annually, about 440 to 500 a month, flowing into your account every quarter. That's not financial freedom by itself, not yet. But now, say you do that same thing 3 times over 3 years, you've deployed $225,000 across 3 deals. And at the same return profile, you're roughly generating $15,000 to $18,000 a year in distributions, $1,200 to $1,500 a month without lifting a finger. And when those deals sell, typically after 5 to 7 years, you receive your share of the appreciation and profit. On a well-executed multifamily deal, that equity event can return 1.5 to 2 times your original investment, or even more. Now let's talk about the objections, because I know what's coming. What if the market turns? Real estate is not immune to cycles. No investment is, but multifamily has a structural floor that most asset classes don't. People always need housing. According to PwC's emerging trends data, even in softer markets, the downside is limited by strong demand and underbuilding in most metro areas. The key is conservative underwriting, choosing operators who stress test their deals and don't rely on aggressive rent growth assumptions to make those numbers work. What if I need my money back? So this is the most important objection to address honestly. Real estate syndications are illiquid. You're committing capital essentially for a typical hold period of 5 to 7 years. This is not money you put in on Monday and pull out on Friday. The rule is simple. Only invest capital you genuinely don't need for the foreseeable future. Think of it as a long-term capital play. Money you're putting to work over time, not a savings account. I don't have time to learn all of this, and that's actually the point. You don't need to become a real estate expert. You need to find and vet expert operators, understand the basic structure of a deal, and then let the professionals do the work. The entire design of passive investing is your time stays focused on your career and your family. Now, here's the vision I want to leave you with. Imagine it's 5 years from now, you've made 4 or 5 disciplined investments. You've been patient and consistent, and now you're receiving $3,000 to $5,000 a month in distributions. These are deposited directly into your account every quarter, whether you work that week or not. You didn't retire, you didn't quit, you didn't walk away from a career you spent years building. But something shifted. You start taking the cases you actually want to take. You stop saying yes to the projects that drain you. You negotiate differently from a position of strength, not desperation. You take the vacation without the anxiety of checking your email every morning. You're more present. That's what financial freedom actually feels like. Not a beach, not a permanent vacation, just the quiet, powerful knowledge that your career is now a choice, not a chain. And that's the moment everything changes. Now, if what I've shared today resonated with you, if you're a busy professional who's ready to start building income that doesn't require your presence, I want to give you the tools to take the next step. So head over to www.cardiarei.com. I put together 2 free ebooks that you can download immediately. They're written specifically for high-income professionals and lay out the foundation of passive real estate investing in clear, practical terms. There's no fluff or jargon. But even more importantly, I've also created a free 9-part private training called the Passive Investing Action Guide. Inside that training, I walk you through the exact framework that serious investors use to build long-term passive income through real estate, step by step, in the right order. We cover how to evaluate deals, how to vet operators, how to think about tax strategy, including things such as depreciation and cost segregation, how to structure your portfolio for the long term, and how to do all of this without becoming a full-time real estate investor. This training is built for people exactly like you. I wish I would have had it when I started. Busy professionals with demanding careers, limited time, families, and zero interest in becoming a full-time landlord. It's conservative, it's methodical, it's completely free. Again, just go to www.cardiarei.com and start thinking of it as potentially the next chapter and applying the things that we covered today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.